What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we are actually going to be checking out the V-Series Special Series 01 and 02 for Clan Collection Volume 1 and 2. So, coming out supposedly on the same day. I think these got pushed back a little bit in English. And today I'm actually joined by Jake from our last Phantom Blaster Dragon profile.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day.
Cool. So, we got some positive reactions on that. So, I was like, you know what? Why not bring him back in?
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm in the middle of like moving and stuff, and I don't know what happened to my webcam. I gotta find it in one of my boxes, but today, no webcam, unfortunately, but we actually recorded this video previously, and I didn't realize the audio was not capturing for Jake, so we're gonna re-record this now. So we're gonna just run through each of the clans, all 24 of them, kind of give you a breakdown on what we think of them. Category A is going to be meta impactful. B is going to be, you know, like a good card. Category C, pretty much like it's playable, and D is just like bad. You know, it's not even worth trying to play. Ooh, wow, there's a lot of lightning right outside my house. That was crazy. But yeah, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. Anything you want to say beforehand, Jake, before we start breaking down the clans?
No, just let's get into it.
Cool, let's do it. So we're going to start off, just going to go through the Reddit tabs. Again, thank you, Machine Blau, for posting all this. I know you do a whole lot for the Discord. I mean, not the Discord, the Reddit page. So yeah, starting off with Tetradrive Dragon. Overall, this is a very generic boss unit. For you guys who don't know, I'm just going to bring the skill up over here. I think that the CB1 to get the 2K honestly isn't horrible. You are hitting nicer numbers, and it makes, you know, let's say it's just, you know, 14K into a 13K body. Your force opponent can't just be like, oh, 20K guard, you know, two to pass anymore. So
if you're working with a lot of counterblast, you can do it more than once per turn as well.
Yeah. So, oh, it is. Yeah, it's more than once per turn, which is actually really cool. That is actually a big thing right there. So, I think that the effects, when you start reading some of these other cards, and we take into consideration the promo card that we just got 2 for V, I don't think that the requirements are honestly too crazy. To hit 7 battles on like your second grade 3 ride is pretty solid. I mean, it's pretty reliable. Like, I don't think you'll run into issues too many times. The overall cost of these aren't terrible because you are pretty much gaining them back when you attack. So, like, you know, the discard, the CB1, I guess, is a little heavy for CB1 twice, but overall, standing the unit, pressuring with the Vanguard, something that I don't think this clan really had outside of like Revan restands, right?
Yeah, I think the Revan's the only one.
Yeah, I think you know, they used to rear guards restanding, so this one is just adding that added pressure with the Vanguard. And overall, the other support, personally don't think it's too bad. I think the grade 2 is decent. The Soul Blast 1, you essentially draw a card. Anything that draws you a card, especially, you know, on
it's only on Vanguard to draw.
Yeah, I know, but I personally think that's good. Like, you have a solid game plan for your grade 2 turn. Kind of like a ride line, like a purpose, I guess. So I think it's not too bad.
Something here I really like is the grade 1. The thing I want to note about it is it can loop with itself. It can switch positions with a copy of itself, since it's not a hard once per turn. So you can get 2 attacks out of it, and then another restand in exchange.
Yeah, so this coupled with the, I think the promo card that we did get to, these 2 cards alone account for like two cards. I mean, what is that? 4 attacks altogether. So really is not hard to hit that threshold. I will say this deck is extremely counterblast heavy overall. For sure. But if you can kind of manage your resources, heal out maybe once a game or something, I think you can pull off a decent game plan with this. Is this category-wise like meta-defining? Probably not, but it offers like a solid kind of boss unit in its own archetype. You can toss this in like Blue Wings also, or what is it? Blue Wings. That's the budget archetype for the restand.
Yeah, that's the one that stands on heals.
Yeah. So I think you can toss it in there. Overall, I would put this in like the category B. This is a good card. Definitely is
strong B.
Yeah. I think it's pretty decent overall. Not I don't think it's gonna be crazy meta impactful though. All right,
it'll be fun to see in games.
For sure. Moving on, my personal favorite clan, we're gonna go into Narukami and Vowing Sword. So at first I was a little iffy about the skill, but after playing it, I think it tests a little bit better, or it plays better than it reads. But overall, the idea is that when your opponent's card is bound, they have to essentially choose to bind the same copy of it in their deck, and this is really problematic for clans that like to run, you know, what is it? I don't know. Like, if you need multiple copies of it, whatever the case may be, like I find that a lot of people don't want to bind these cards out, and previously Eradicators had a huge problem with power, and this kind of just solves it. So this isn't like this isn't replacing Gauntlet Buster. I think Gauntlet Buster is still going to be a build, but at the same time, it's just giving you like an alternate to play. Overall, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So
it's another route to go.
Yeah, because I feel like, Gauntlet Buster is all about your Vanguard, which this is still, obviously your Vanguard, but at the same time, when you're playing, oh god, who's the Eradicator, the restanding Eradicator?
Ground Extended.
Descendant, yeah. When you're playing on top of this, I mean, still pressuring with that multi-attack afterwards, just not the crits the same way. So overall, it does answer our power problem, I think. And on top of that, I think in Premium, this is really talking about V this whole video, but in Premium, I think you can get up to like 8 binds there with Stunburst to really accelerate a lot of that Thunderstrike. Some of the ones that had, Thunderstrike 7, 8, things like that. So definitely solid.
I think notably, again, the grade 1 is probably what you're going to be putting in a lot of Narukami decks, not even just Eradicators. So I like how they're generic enough to be in a lot of Narukami decks.
Yeah, no, these two are definitely really, really big. I mean, the hit pressure, just that extra power that they get, it's really very, very solid overall. Like, oh, wait a minute. I was reading the, what is it, this Bowing Sword for the power. I was like, wait, that doesn't get power. But yeah, no, just the on-pressure hit really, really helps. Getting your bind zone accelerated a little bit quicker is really nice as well. And I think for both the Vanguard and Rearguard, Circle to Grade 2 is decent. 1k each for your opponent's bind zone basically means that if you ride Demolition Dragon first, if you hit, you bound something, this guy becomes a 10k, can at least threaten a hit if you're facing a force opponent. On top of that, just like CB1 to bind all the rear guards, you're going to be satisfying, what's it called? Off of this card alone. Thunderstrike stuff, yes, but if you're playing Vanquisher, you're going to be satisfying his continuous skill to get the extra 10k off, just basically off of this guy alone, on top of the bind from Vanquisher himself. So very, very solid unit. It enables that multi-attack by moving all the back row rear guards, and if they have a back row rear guard brought up, again, that's just like another target for a bind, and eliminating your opponent's resources is a huge part of Narukami. So honestly, out of this, I feel like the grade 2 is really the big winner here. It's pretty much
grade 2. Watch out. Watch out for combos with Cho-Oh. Could be very nasty.
Yeah, and I like the reprints that we got in here too. Cho-Oh is there. The heal trigger's a little busy, but the grade 1 common girl is going to be triple rare, which is really cool. But overall, I would put this in the good category.
The B.
Yeah, I would say like it definitely is decent. I don't think it's going to be meta defining. I think the deck, is fine as is. It's more of like a sidestep, kind of lateral with Gauntlet Buster, just like a different way to kind of take it. So
yeah, agreed.
Cool. All right, perfect. So I think we're in agreement on 2 of these. I think we agreed on most of these, and there's just like 1 or 2. But next up is Reiji. Reiji's kind of interesting. I feel like it reads really interesting, and I feel like everybody's shitting on it, but we've seen that before with things like Yasui and whatnot, and like, meanwhile, it goes on to kind of run the meta, or at least be a huge meta contender. So I don't want to speak too negative about this, but overall, kind of just, soul blasting things to bind them based on how many binds, you get different effects. Overall, I think this puts like a lot of pressure on your opponent, but at the same time, it doesn't make it like a multi-attacking deck. I think that Shaharat is probably still more powerful. It's more stable overall. Like, this might have slightly like an equal ceiling, but I don't know. This just feels like a really weird.
Irregulars, so
what was that?
Talk about it. I don't know a lot about Shaharat, so I'm just gonna judge this based on itself.
I've played against it a whole ton. I personally haven't really played it, but it's some of those multi-attacks that you can get off with that's just really annoying. It could survive a long time. And I think with these new heal triggers too, the games are going to go on longer. So I can't see this really replacing that as the best unit in the clan.
This reads really gimmicky.
Yeah, it's like, get the 15 or more in the bind zone. I think you could do that. I don't think it's that hard to do.
You could, but it's just, you're not going to hit every game.
Yeah.
At all.
It is. It's definitely like a second grade 3 ride or something.
Yeah, it's a secondary condition. You're not going for that over the game. You're trying to get, I'd say, mainly just that 7 or more. Yeah, I feel like you might just stop after there out of fear for decking out.
Yeah, at that point, you're actually right. You might And then, I mean, I feel like the 7 or more and the 10 or more, those conditions are already, like, pretty much, what was it, like, the blood. Vermilion, the blood, so 5k. So what is that, 30, 32, right? 10, 10, 10k base.
So it's 37
32,
total.
37, yeah.
Triple drive, critical 3.
Basically, you know, it's PG fodder. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Fade that out.
And then the support units in place on Vannereer, counterblast 1, 2 unit cards, to your soul, draw a card. I mean, we were talking about the draw triggers being good fodder for this, but at the same time, you might have a deck out problem, and it really feels bad to put trigger cards into the soul. I don't know. Like, those are your shield from hand.
There's going to be a golden ratio for draw triggers, I feel like, in these decks. Someone's just got to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, you do draw a card for each card put in the soul that way. It's a filter, but that's annoying. I guess, like, if at that point you're going for your kill turn, you need to filter out, and, like, maybe other units on board are more useful. That could be a good move.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, I'm gonna put this, like, a lot of people would say it's bad.
I'm just going to go C. It's not D.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's playable. Just, it's another fun alternate to kind of play for the clan. I don't think it's gonna be meta impactful. I don't think this is like a great deck, but yeah, I don't think it's as bad as some people say. So we'll see. Time will only tell. Maybe this will be absolutely garbage, but cool.
Or maybe it'll be broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you'll hit 15 every game.
Maybe you'll have the P-brain idea, but yeah. So let's move right along then into Gold Paladin. So this is another interesting clan. A lot of opinions on this as well. Let's see over here. Yeah, Prominence Core. So it still is pretty much looking at cards, calling them from the top, but you're missing the restand on the Vanguard here. And I get it, it's really easy to flood your whole board with units, but at the same time, I feel like the restanding Vanguard in Spectral Duke is so good. Like, it's hard to, like, replace that with this. Like, if you have the Aglavale in your soul, like, you do get the original crit, but that's hidden behind your opponent's Vanguard being on grade 3. The additional 3k power, when you think about it, I mean, a lot of people already give themselves like a +5 or something, so 3k on top of that. If I'm a grade 2 that gives myself +5, I'm at 14.
Actually, I think it's more impactful than you notice, because it's plus 3k to that unit as well. So you call a column, it's plus 6k to the column.
That unit and this unit. Yeah, you're right.
So it's bigger than it looks.
That's true. That's true. 6k. So let's say 9k. Let's call it a 14k Vanguard if they're on Excel 2. Well, if they're on Excel 2, we can't do that. But the 3k to itself, I guess your Vanguard swings might be a little bit bigger, but I kind of like the restanding Vanguard a little bit more. I think this is going to play pretty much like on an equal level to Spectral Duke, even though
it's just in a different direction.
Yeah, like it's just a different way to play it. I don't feel like this really brought the deck or the clan really like forward into a different play style. Yeah, just a lot of calling.
I think it makes them more versatile.
Yeah, I get that.
What I'd say.
What's weird is this, I guess the other thing coming out in the, what is it, the Premium Revival Collection? There's another Blue Flame Liberator there, so... Yeah,
I'm just going to go ahead and say this is looking towards B.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is definitely B. I mean, you have to ride Percival first, which I don't think longer games are a problem here. More time to search this out. Maybe you can run it at like
Percival's a great first ride.
Yeah, really not too bad overall. I don't know. I think I like Spec Duke more personally just a little bit, but I can definitely see this working out and being better maybe than it reads.
Yeah, it could be a contender.
So, okay, yeah, I'll put it in category B. I would say that it's definitely like a good deck.
Next up is another Legion Revival card.
Oh yeah, for Pale Moon now.
Yeah.
So, oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about
Nova Grappler.
Oh, I'm on Pale Moon now.
Oh, let's go Pale Moon.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna be talking about Pale Moon first. This is gonna be, what is this? Beast Tamer. What's his full name over here?
Tilapis.
Oh yeah, Tilapis, or I don't even know how to say it. But this card is crazy. This is really a nice card overall.
Yeah, this is what we agree on. This is nuts.
Yeah, this is honestly really big. It has implications in both premium and in V. So we CB1, 2 cards in from our hand into our soul, choose 2 grade 2 or less cards in our soul, call into rear guard circle, choose one of your front row rear guards, Beast Tamer, a different card name as this unit. That unit becomes a Vanguard circle until the end of turn. So not only on act are you kind of filling your field there, on top of that, you could also have Golden Beast Tamer, just like the regular old Vanguard, the one of the original ones, on a rear guard circle in your front row, and she spawns out another 2 attacks as well. So just like, I don't know,
And
like,
plus 2 off the Vanguard swing as well.
yeah,
Extra Vanguard swing.
I forget if she gives power too, but there's just a whole lot of drive checks in this. There are a lot of just multi-attack opportunities that you can do here too. So overall, I think this is, I mean, really, really huge. And then during our turn, each grade 1 on our soul among our units with Bunny its card name, all the front row units get the power +1. So that really helps us deal with force decks. Like that's really huge.
You only need a single one in there to make a difference.
Yeah, it automatically makes things just a lot easier to actually swing into. I feel like that's what we kind of lacked in Nightmare Dolls, even with the power up that Chelsea kind of gave and stuff. Like, you still ran into the issue like, oh, they hit 1 trigger, it's a difficult hill to still climb, you do get a lot of multi-attacks, but you know, they hit 2 and they're pretty much shutting off your turn. So unless you're hitting a lot of fronts or whatever the deal is, but this kind of helps us get around at least 1 trigger, makes it a little bit easier. You know, if we hit a front, they hit a thing, like we're not dead in the water anymore.
I agree.
And then the grade 2 is decent too. Again, you're gonna have a really nice rush down grade 2 turn, a lot of multi-attacking. You can do different shenanigans. When it attacks, card from our hand into our soul, grade 2 or less card into our soul, call it the rear guard, multi-attack right there. And then 3 more grade 1 cards with Bunny in their card names. This unit gets drive +1. Like, wow, that's setting up your soul, getting that extra drive. On top of that, the top 7 searcher here, I mean, this just adds such crazy consistency. Like, this is,
it's looking to be a really good deck.
yeah, this is honestly, I'm gonna put this in category A. I think that this is
for sure.
a huge winner. I think that this, excuse me, will have definite meta impacts. I'm definitely looking forward to playing this, to be honest. So,
And probably have a wallet impact too, since it's so good.
I was able to just pick up one of the Golden Beast Saber for like $2. I saw they went up huge.
Awesome.
So, oh man. Anyway, all right, moving on to our next. Oh yeah, also for premium too. Your rear guard circle you can Legion on that rear guard circle.
Yeah.
So could be really, really.
Is there a Beast Tamer Legion?
I think so. Well, it does have to have Beast Tamer. I think there is. One of your front row rear guards with Beast Tamer and different card names unit that you search. I think there is. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to quote myself there, but
I'll look it up while you're talking about the next one.
no problem. So speaking of the next one, I know we kind of previewed it earlier. We are talking about Nova Grappler. So again, one of my favorite clans. I really, really do like Nova Grappler. Multi-attack, kind of like big swings like that are my thing. But this is a kind of a crazy card. I think that definitely is potential in this card. But at the same time, you have to really like kind of dedicate a lot of time, I feel like, to learn this. And when you do that, like, it has a good gimmick, but I feel like it's not doing anything too crazy out of the realm of like what other decks don't already do for less. I think that you need to know what your resources are and how to kind of like project that for later in the game to actually have an impact with this card. So essentially, when you do attack at the end of the battle, you rear guard attacked with Razor in its card name, CB2, rest this unit, stand both this unit and that unit. You have to rest this unit because they don't want you swinging with this and then restanding it. I think that would be just too many Vanguard swings in general. CB2 is kind of heavy, but it kind of gets negated with a little bit of the countercharge 1 from the grade 2. And at the end of this battle, this unit attacked. No front row rear guards. We CB1. Choose a grade 2 with Razor in its card name for your soul, ride it as stand. End of that turn, choose a grade 3 with Razor, ride it as rest. So you do generate an extra marker. I don't think it has that subtext that you don't actually generate another Excel marker, which is cool.
You do generate one.
Yeah. So that is actually pretty interesting. I don't know why Narukami couldn't get that then. And then on top of that, you're going to be ideally riding this guy over here, which he does get like a natural +3 for each of your opponent's Vanguard grades. So, you know, you might be worried, oh, I ride a grade 2, but I have to get like a 1 to pass or something to actually hit. That's not the case here. You get that extra additional 3. So 9k body turns into, what is that, +6? So that's going to be 17, right? 9, 6, yeah. Wait, no. Did I say 9? It's 18, right? Because you're 9, right? 9. Yeah, 18. I don't know. I can't do math right now. But, yeah. What does that bring us to? And then if we boost this to 25, yeah, even if your opponent does get a defensive trigger in there, like a force number, you're still going to get over it as long as you boost it. What's really nice too is that there is the bunny, or the butler, whatever it's called, that essentially if you're grade 2, yeah, cat butler, that's it. If you don't actually hit with your grade 2 Vanguard, you get to restand this guy. So
I think that's call back to Legion format where they abuse that.
Yeah. So,
speaking of Legion, I did check Palmoon. There is Cracking Beast Tamer, which is a promo card that has the Legion ability. I believe it's from the movie pack promo.
So you can do it. It is possible. Perfect.
Yes. Cool.
And then yeah, this is the counter charge afterwards. Get the +5 and whatnot. So definitely solid overall. And then the grade 1 kind of adds to that consistency. The CB1, another break art into your soul, search your deck for the razor, blah blah blah. CB1's kind of costly in here. Again, this is like a very high cost kind of deck. Overall, like, I think that there is potential with this. And if you know how to play this, I think you can do well. I really do like the art. I like the art on the 1 and 2. The grade 3 looks okay.
It definitely looks high effort, high reward.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it in the playable category. Probably category C.
I had to go low B. I had to go B.
You are going to put good? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see this.
Thanks, little Bevan.
I could see it being there, but I feel like from some other stuff that we put in there, I'd rather rate that higher, I guess, at the moment. But I'm gonna go C on this one.
Okay.
So playable.
Agree to disagree.
Cool. All right. Next up is Genesis. So super interesting. I know some people weren't too big on this card. Overall, I really like it. I think it adds like a new play style, and the support beyond her, the good luck for Goddess of Good Luck Fortuna. Beyond her, we did get Witch's support with the other two, so we can add those to a Witch's deck. But overall, if you're looking to kind of spam more force markers, this definitely helps you with that. You're basically just Oracle Think Tanking. Cost counterblast 1, soul blast 1 or more times. Look at the top of our deck equal to the number of times we soul blasted. Put them in your top in any order. When this unit attacks, choose any number of your rear guards, soul charge for each chosen unit. So this is basically filling its own like cost, and on top of that, if you scry the top 5, you can set up things defensively down the line. You can set up things very aggressive for like right now if you're going for your kill turn. I think that this inherently is pretty interesting. And then when you do when your damage check reveals a trigger unit, get 1 imaginary gift force. So
sadly, that is once per turn.
Yeah, that is. But I mean, the damage check again, that's kind of setting up defensively. You have to make sure you get that. So I think that this could set you up nicely for that Witch Vanguard if you ride this one first. And then I feel like that oh God, what was her name? I forgot the name of her. I made 2 videos on her, but I feel like it was always just like 1 10k body away from being like victorious in so many different matches, and this kind of solves that issue.
Minerva?
The Fortuna here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, was that the name? I forgot her name. The grade 3. She was like a rare out of Divine Lightning Radiance, it was Divine Lightning Radiance or the Astral Poet set. I think that was the Astral Poet set. But yeah, just getting 2 force markers instead of 1 really helps. Additionally, I think the other support cards are decent here. We have Chamomile, which is at the start of our battle phase. If we Soul Blast 3 or more times, we may call this card to rearguard circles. So really nice to be able to replace a body. Sometimes your hand just does not have it. So I think that is pretty decent. And then when this unit attacks, gets that power 10k until the end of battle. At the end of battle, retire this unit. The retire kind of sucks, but at the same time, like I said, you're so close, so many games, I think, with that budget deck. Like, that extra 10k would make such a difference. So I'm a big fan of this card. I think that just being able to call this out almost for free, because you're guaranteed to be soul blasting more than 3 in so many of these Genesis decks, especially this one if you're going to play her just herself. I think this is an auto replace, and then she's just a big body. I think that's probably worth it.
She's got more board presence, something that I think they needed more consistency in.
Yeah, and I can see that in this deck, just in general, working out really well. And then Valencia is, again, another witch. When this card is put to your drop from your soul during main phase, we combine this card, 2 cards from our drop, put one of those cards into our soul, one of those cards at the bottom of our deck. So it really helps with just keeping that deck alive, because we might deck out. You're probably going to run into that issue in this deck if you play it pure. Even if you play the Witches variant, probably still going to come dangerously close. So you could save yourself, honestly. And then putting cards into our soul, there's another card that rips things out of our soul to our hand, which is nice. So it really helps you tutor for that a bit more. And then its second skill, auto on rearguard circle. At the end of battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put 2 rearguards in the same column as this unit into your soul, and then draw a card. So card draw, always good. Filling up our soul, just fueling it for next turn. And potentially setting up the chamomile for next turn too is really nice.
It's a great combo.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this deck. I think it's like, personally for me, I can see it working either alone or with the Witch's deck. I think that this is probably going to be in like the low B, high C for me.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
I don't think this is like a meta-defining deck. I think this is a really cool and intricate kind of, or not intricate, but really cool kind of mechanic. I think it can work out. I feel like, you know,
it's also not B.
Yeah. I think that it pushes the Witcher strategy forward. Its own strategy, a little weird. Himiko Regalia is still really decent. Astral Poets are good right now. Witches are its own deal, really. But Genesis has a lot of different options now in V Premium, which is kind of crazy to think about. Cool. All right, so we're going to put that in the high playable, low good. So next up is Gear Chronicle. I personally do like this card a lot. I think this gives us like another option now if we're going first. And again, the grade 2 and the grade 1 just basically set up some other multi-attacks too. Let's get into the grade 4 first. So this is a stride option if you do go first, the 15k body twin drive. But overall, when this unit is placed on ban, CB1, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from my hand, put all of our rear guards at the bottom of our deck in any order, call the top 5 cards of your deck, choose any number of cards from among them, call them to rear guard circle, and shuffle your deck. So this is decent because you don't have to actually call anything. You know, it doesn't say like, oh, you have to put a minimum of rear guards to the bottom of your deck. So you can stride just when it's placed on ban. Yep. Just boom. Pop that down. Magically create a whole field, which is nice. And then attack with that. So I think that just makes it a little bit more aggressive. And then when this unit attacks, hits a vanguard, our opponent puts all their rear guards on the bottom of their deck in any order. So just puts that pressure on. Like really, you know, if they have a field that they've already built on their grade 2 rush down turn, they don't want that to be just, you know, thrown away. It really makes them guard out and potentially sets up your other attacks to actually hit.
I think it's a tad too situational and it's board buildingness. So I think it's more of a 1 of or 2 of instead of a 4 of.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, no, I would definitely keep this at, because I still like this and the grade 4 from the last V collection. I would probably keep both of them at like a 1 and a 1. Just again, just like for the situation, like which one do I want to stride into? Because
that's the beauty of that deck.
Yeah. The Chronojet next stage is still going to be my main go-to. So. And then the grade 2s, honestly, I think are really good. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks, CB1, bind this unit, so more interdimensional support. Choose either of one of either fighter's rear guards, put it at the bottom of that fighter's deck. If you put a grade 2 or greater on the bottom of the deck, search or drop for up to 1 normal unit with grade -1 of the return card, add it to your hand, and if you put a grade 1 or less unit to the bottom of your deck, draw a card, countercharge 1. So countercharging, drawing in this deck, which already draws a lot, is huge. Trying to think, what can you, if you put a grade 2 in the bottom of your deck, search normal, try to drop up to 1 normal unit, grade -1 with the return card, and add it to your hand. Put it right, where was it that, choose either fighter rear, bottom of that fighter's deck. Grade 2, I feel like there was a multi-attack in here somewhere. I don't know, my brain, I feel like it's fried at the end of the day here.
Yeah, I feel you.
Let's see if I can remember it if I read the grade 1. But when this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, call this card to rearguard as rest. So again, pretty good. A lot of things discard in this deck, especially for Chronojet. Auto on rearguard circle when you grade 3 or greater vanguard attacks. Soul Blast 1, tire this unit, draw a card, choose one of your vanguards, plus 5k into the end of battle. So this is actually very important for Chronojet Dragon, because you can Soul Blast 1, retire this. Drawing the card is nice, and then getting the additional 5k on something that has that Sentinel restrict is actually really big. So if you go into next stage, then you go into Chronojet Dragon. You use Chronojet skill, that's 15k, 20k, 33. This makes it a 33, and then if you boost that with an 8k, that is what? That's 41, or potentially going to be 13k, right? 41 is 46k. Yeah, no Sentinels, so that is quite a nice little buff there. I personally do like this card. I think the support is solid. Like, we're not replacing the main boss units of this deck. I think that this pretty much just supports it, which is really nice.
I concur.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna put this in the good category. This,
Yeah.
like, I personally think Gear Chronicles already like a lot better than a lot of people say in V Premium. So I already think it's like a pretty high tier deck, and this kind of doesn't push it really like super forward. Just gives us another option to play. So yeah, I would definitely say this is good. The support is good. The deck itself, I would say, is like borderline like low tier meta, but
Oh, I'd say solid too.
yeah. Okay, perfect.
You're biased.
All right, we're gonna go on to Great Nature then. So not gonna spend too much time here. Big disappointment for me. I really do like Great Nature. I love Big Belly and stuff, and this I feel like is a jack of all trades and ace of none. This tries to do some, you know, some milling benefit with Isabel. This tries to kind of appease Big Belly by retiring a lot of stuff, and I just don't think it pushes the clan forward at all. It doesn't push the strategies forward at all. I think that if you're not giving yourself an extra 10k in Big Belly, like there's no point, unless you're giving out power to hit Big Belly's power threshold, like of that 20k, like you just don't belong in the deck, and this does nothing to kind of get us there. Choosing one of our rear guards, choosing two of our rear guards, extra +5. I just can't really get behind this card. And then the grade 2 is weird because what? That's a 13k body. Yeah, that's a 13k body. So what was the contingency? And a turn, choose one of your rear guards and retire it. I guess, like, you know, retiring for Big Belly is good. This could make for like a defensive kind of play.
Yeah, that's the one thing I see is it's good about it. For sacking off one card, you're basically bringing up your shield values going in first. So it could be worth it, but
does it say that this is mandatory? So if you can't satisfy this, what happens?
You do as much of the skill as possible.
Okay.
And
so
since you can't retire, you do nothing.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's kind of like the masquerade for Shadow Paladin then. And then Taping Cat, and this unit is retired from rear. This card is discarded from your deck. Soul Blast 1, activate one of the effects, draw a card, choose one of your rear guards, 5k. I guess like the power gain is cool. Draw is okay. Like overall, like I just don't like this. I feel like this is so. Whoops! I accidentally clicked on that. I feel like this is so not half-assed, but just did not bring the deck forward. Either of the decks, Isabel or Big Belly. So this is going to be in the bad category for me.
Yeah, it's got to go D.
Yeah, this is not good. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in Big Belly, just practice, but cannot see this working out really well. Next up,
pieces ago.
What was that?
Go S tier. I can't wait to be surprised by that deck. S tier.
That would be something. Oh, next up is Granblue. So this is going to be the Pinot Noir. Very interesting. I know this was a Legion unit that they brought back too, which is cool. So this guy, let me just make sure I understand again. During your turn, every 3 units in your drop, all front row units get 5k. Okay, so a little bit of universal power gain. Pirate Bell Pinot Blanc is placed on rear guard. Soul Blast 1. Discard top 2 of deck. Activate all trigger effects for those units. Okay. And then basically she comes out during our what was it? During our attack, battle phase. Yeah, when our Vanguard attacks. So drawing there, getting in a little bit of extra oomph in the deck, 4 attacks instead of 3. Can you still multi-attack here beyond that? I don't think so, because this is once per turn, auto and drop. I guess you can. Let's say you had 2 of her in there. I guess you can still. You know, you could. Yeah, you can get 1, 2 attack with your Vanguard, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 attacks, because you can do. It's not once. It's once per card per turn.
No, not even.
Oh, I guess your Vanguard's not going to restand there. So at least in V Premium, it's not. I think there's a way to do it in Premium though. Yeah, so you can get multiple attacks there. This unit cannot be attacked, and this unit gets 5k for every 3 trigger units in your drop. So really interesting to get those triggers in your drop. Like, we don't feel bad, I guess, to see those. On top of things that we do drive check already, like, I guess that's not horrible. And then when placed, search your deck for up to 1 card, discard it, put it in a drop, shuffle. This is for the grade 1, Sea Strolling Banshee. In a battle that attacked or boosted, discard 2 of the top deck. 1 or more trigger units were discarded. Retire this to draw 1. So just really stacking up your drop zone on rear. And then one place, search for 1 card, discard it. basically put whatever card you want in the piggy bank to just take out. Like, I feel like this is going to be in absolutely every single Granblue deck. That is an amazing card.
Great first ride.
Yeah. That is a very, very, very good card. A little bit of extra draw power there, the searching, everything about that card is great. I personally I think the other ones are okay. I think that this doesn't surpass Night Rose. Not saying it shouldn't. I feel like it's a shame to like have to refer to other these kind of clans and be like, oh, this card is good, but there's something, you know, just beyond it.
In a vacuum.
Yeah. I mean, in its own silo, I think this is pretty decent. You are getting that multi-attack. These can end up being like pretty significant attacks towards the end of the game if you're, you know, really filtering out a lot of your triggers from deck.
I can still realistically having 9 triggers out of deck consistently.
Yeah, so that gives you an extra 15, a 24k attack, you know, do that. Yeah, not terrible. Again, Night Rose attacks...
This is in a protect deck.
Yeah, this is a protect deck. Night Rose's attacks are bigger, and I think Ghosties are just a little bit more resilient.
I feel like this attack pattern is a bit wider.
Yeah.
So maybe helps against those force matchups.
I could see that. Overall, I'm going to put this in the good category. I don't think this is a bad card. I think we'll definitely see this played. It might not be like an absolute meta crusher or anything, but I think this
I'm going to go B.
Yeah, I'm going to go category B on this. I think it's a good card. It's respectable.
I remember the first time we recorded this, you went C on this one.
I did it first because I didn't think I understood the multi-attack potential. Just with the, you know, you can call this one from drop, the, what is it, Pirate Bell Pinot Blanc. So I think with that true multi-attack, understood or whatever, I think it definitely is better than I originally gave it credit for.
And you're plussing every time you call them from the drop.
That is true.
And then you're basically drive checking, twin driving for them on their Vanguard.
True. Yeah, it's kind of
so
like...
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah, I do like that. And this is when it attacks, right? When you're below it attacks. Yeah, so they're going to see the trigger effect still. So they get the extra
Vanguard
mill.
sees triggers.
They get the mill, so they get 4 drive checks pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty nuts.
Solid, very solid actually.
Oh.
All right, cool. Next up is Megacolony. I think this is actually a better deck than it reads. Not gonna get too crazy. Not gonna get too crazy into it, but essentially you want to have all of these Giraffas in the soul. You get benefits off of that during your turn. This guy gets an additional 5k for each different card in our soul with Giraffa, so you want that, and the crit becomes 2 because we have multiple Giraffas in our soul. There's ways to get them in there too. When it attacks CB1, put one of your rear guards into your soul. Opponent chooses 2 cards from the hand, calls them rear as rest. Kind of just like disrupts. It doesn't have to call them to empty rear guard circle, and these guys don't restand during our opponent's next stand phase. So we're basically saying like, all right, we're ripping the stuff from your hand. We're making sure that you can't use them next turn. On top of that, like if you already filled your field, like you need to basically put cards over those, you need to replace them next turn to be able to use those rearguard circles or shuffle them around, whatever the case is. I feel like the disruption is good. It does have like decent inherent pressure with that critical becoming 2, gives that a little extra power. So what is that, 15k plus 2 crit? Yeah, 27 2 crit, which is not terrible. And I think that there is just multi-attacking in this deck with the what was it, the Scissors grade 3 support card that we got last clan collection or selection, whatever they called it.
I think you just need too much different stuff to go right to get a complete lockdown, and you also need a bunch of stuff to set up the soul. So I feel like the high roll potential is there, but I feel like your deck could get completely turned against you. So I fear for the consistency of the deck.
I feel like there is decent card draw. The disruption that the grade 3 gives you is pretty good. And then yeah, there's card draw off the 1 and 2, and you're basically cherry picking a rear guard and putting it into soul. So if you miss the right ride, draw the card later, whatever the case is, like you can then fix your soul and then swing with your vanguard. So I don't know. I do like this card actually. I'm gonna put it in the good category. I think it definitely brings the clan forward with like a decent archetype, like its own archetype, but I can see how people aren't hot on this.
I originally wanted to put it in D, but now that you've explained it, I'll settle for C.
Okay. So I'm gonna go like, yeah, low good, you're gonna go playable. Okay, so C. So that makes sense. That does. All right, cool. And then next up is Link Joker. So this is one I was kind of lukewarm on. And I don't think either of us are real like Link Joker players, right?
No.
Yeah, so let's just read through this guy then. When this card is placed on ban, when it is wrote upon, costs CB1, discard a card from your hand. Opponent rear guard, lock it for more damage, choose one of your opponents, separate row, each row instead. So 2 lock spots is pretty good. And then during your turn, this guy gets 5k for each opponent's lock cards. A little bit of Vanguard, just like power. When it's placed on wrote upon, CB1, discard a card. If you have 4 more damage, reserve. I guess it's like a limit break, lock 2. Those lock circles really do hurt to kind of advance your game. And I feel like anything with this kind of Cyber Dragon name does help Chaos Breaker in general. I think this is a decent like first ride. Locking circles. Giving yourself a little bit of power. I don't know. It's not like crazy. I feel like it's like a Tetra Drive almost. Like it's pretty standard. This has...
The card itself tells you to do it first. To write it first.
Yeah.
When it's wrote upon.
Yeah, exactly. So just consistently locking those circles. I guess that's good. I don't know. I feel like Chaos was always a little bit overrated, and like this might be just like a decent first ride, gets you that force marker. I don't know. For the grade 2, when this unit is placed in Van Arrears, Soul +1, discard a card. Look at top 5 cards. Choose Star Vader again. Call it to rear guard as rest. I guess a consistency buff, but discard from hand is too big for me. Like that's pretty much not really worth it. Opponent has a lock card. Call that card as stand. So you have to make sure you lock a card. And I think you can do that with the grade 1 here. When this unit is wrote upon, may call it to rear. Your opponent's lock card is unlocked. CB1, retire this unit. Opponent's top card. I don't know. I personally just don't know how to lock the card before that grade 2. I don't know. I don't think the support is like super hot.
It's
I think
Soul Blast 1 cycle.
Yeah. I think the Vanguard is okay. I think the support is alright. It's not great. Like, this could be better later on in the game. When your opponent's lock cards unlock, Cowboys from retire this unit, opponent looks top card, lock card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this is playable.
I'd say for these, the grade 3 looks good. The rest of the stuff looks playable.
Yeah, I think 2 out of 3 of them being playable just makes me kind of put that in general in that category. I think it is a good first ride, but I don't know. Beyond that, again, I'm not like really a Link Joker player, so don't crucify me. But just let me know in the comments too, like if you guys see anything that I'm forgetting. Yeah, exactly. Like this is totally open forum. We're having fun with it. We're gonna go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just we're good to go on.
All right, cool. Yeah, Spike Brothers is next, and I feel like bad again. We're not Spike Brothers players really, but I like this because it changes. I personally don't know too much. I just know that I hate playing against it. It's what Devin plays like all the time in V, so can't stand it. This is like my kryptonite. I don't know what it is against spikes. I just hate them. Even if I win, I still get like salty. It's weird. Wrote upon. I feel like this changes the whole dynamic with Rising Nova. So Rising Nova no longer belongs in the deck, which is good. That was just like too much of a universal card. And I feel like they really found their way around it. I feel like Dudley now kind of has its own archetype that it like truly is fleshed out. This is multi-attack. Yeah, this is multi-attack. This is power gain. This is like true Spike Brothers, I think, at its finest. I really do think this is actually some decent support. I know this is locked behind a hit. Vanguard Dudley and its names. At the bottom of your deck, choose a 9 grade 2 Dudley and its hard name, call it the rear. So pressuring for a multi-attack with the grade 2. Bottom of your deck during your turn, choose one of your units, put all your force. Wow, yeah, swapping around the force markers is big. I feel like it's
these are on hits with cards that you're moving 1, 2, maybe even 3 force markers over to. So they are dropping guard or they are getting hit multiple times.
Yep. So you do have to guard essentially. So I feel like it's very classic Spike Brothers. It's like if I do hit, if I don't hit, you're doomed if you do, damned if you don't. I think this is actually a good card. If you're a Spike Brothers player, you'll definitely know how to work this. I think this is power gain, multi-attack potential. If it wasn't hidden behind like the on-hit effects, it would be even better. But as it is, I'm going to call it good. I'm going to call it middle of the pack good.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Solid all around. All right, next up is Kagero. So very interesting because we're getting away from Overlord the clan, so finally getting Seal Dragons over here. So really do like the art on these Seal Dragons. I think they're pretty damn cool. That grade 1 is really, really cool. I want like sleeves of that actually. So the grade 3, well, I feel like for this one we have to start with the grade 1. Just that when it's placed on van or rear, cost Soul Blast 1, discard a card from my hand, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and retire it. Your opponent chooses up to one grade 2 unit from their hand, calls it to an open rear guard circle. Opponent's auto abilities do not, and if they could not call, you draw 2 cards. So that is actually pretty huge, because if we're early in the game and your opponent only has one grade 2 in our hand, you force them to call it, boom, next turn they G-assist. Like, yeah, that discard just does not feel as bad for you at all. Plus, if they could not call, you draw 2 cards like that. I don't know. That's kind of an even wash, because you're calling this down, discarding a card, drawing a card to replace itself, drawing a card to replace the discard from your hand. So I feel like that feels decent. I like this card. I personally think that's an early game. That is good early game. Its second one up is a Seal Dragon Corduroy. This guy, van or rear guard circle. Once per turn, CB1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it. Again, your opponent looks at the top 5 cards of the deck, chooses one grade 2 unit from among them, calls it to open rear guard circle, shuffles their deck. Your opponent's auto abilities do not activate from the call. If you could not call, we countercharge 1. So again, just really forcing out those grade 2 units really sucks for them, and it gives you an option to kind of retire, just maintain that control. And overall, I think that this kind of flows really, really well. Oh wow, this was just edited 1 minute ago. That's actually crazy. For Seal Dragon Blockade now. Act on Vanguard Circle once per turn. We counterblast 1. Retire all of our opponent's grade 2 rear guards. So anything they might have called down just became pretty much useless. All of our front row units get an additional 10k until the end of turn for each unit retired. So big columns, which is really nice. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't in that regard. And then if at least one unit was not retired, we get an imaginary gift force. So, you know, if we don't get the big swing on this turn, at least, you know, we're stacking up, piling up our force markers for later in the game. So I think that this is kind of like a 3-attack deck as far as I can see it, but at the same time, it's just like a classic beatdown. Like, I'm going to get big, I'm going to play a little bit of control, and then if you have no grade 2 on your van or rear, this guy script becomes 2. Yeah, this is just pressure beatdown, which is different. Overlord the Clan is basically restanding. This is not about restand, it's not about multi-attack. This is, hey.
Well, you could play Original V Overlord as a rear guard in this deck for that 4-attack potential.
Isn't that on Vanguard Circle when it has to restand?
I'll look into it.
I'm pretty sure the only rearguard skill it has is the Soul Blast 1, gain 10k. And then the restand one is on Fan. I'm like 90% sure. Excuse me.
Yeah, the restand's on V on them.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's why we bounce it off each other. But overall, I like the strategy. I think this is definitely good.
Yeah, I'd say B.
Yeah, I would say category B. I don't know where exactly in B. I'd have to, like, definitely a deck I'd like to play because it reads well.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and I do really like Kagero. Like, Dragon Empire is my favorite, so definitely interested to play that. Next up we have Murakumo. Just another one that I just did not like. I really do love Murakumo. I have tons of videos of Murakumo on my channel, but overall, like, her skill costs CB1 on Vanguard Circle, act once per turn. Look at top 5 cards of your deck, choose one card with Stealth Fiend in its card name from among them, call into rear. Then if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, for every 2 your rear guards with Stealth Fiend in their card name, this unit gets drive +1 till the end of turn. So it just sucks because the second part, when your drive check reveals that unit card with the normal unit Stealth Fiend in its card name, call to rear, guy gets 10k until the end of turn. If it's not, put it into your drop. So your extra drive checks could result in extra attacks, but at the same time, like, you're not actually gaining that to hand, so your advantage just isn't really there the same way. I feel like the support is very confused, and we don't have, at least in V Premium, a ton of, like, Stealth Fiend, like, decent Stealth Fiend support.
It could be good if they make more in the next sets, but...
Yeah, I mean, the grade 2, when it's placed by a card effect, draw a card, decent. When this unit is placed on van or rear from hand, CB1, really grade 2 or less from hand, search your deck for one card of the same name, call it to rear. Just kind of guaranteeing that you have names for that, your Vanguard grade 3 skill, and this unit attack does not hit. Cost put this bottom on your deck, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, but a little bit of control. I feel like this is too confused, doesn't have like a good, like, strategy overall, like, cohesiveness. I don't know. I know there's Nudo that can help you with power columns. I guess there is a little bit of card draw, but I'm putting this I hesitate to put it in bed. Just again, the Yasui example, the Hyuga example. Everyone thought it was terrible. Hyuga ran away with the meta. I'm gonna put it in bed, but I do hesitate. So I can see the potential, especially further down the line if we get better stuff. But this is a grade 2 also. It's not a grade 1. I'm gonna put it in category D. I just don't really like this card. I don't think it's too good. So I think we're in agreement there. Next up, we actually have Tachikaze. So I think this is really interesting because you can actually take these cards and run them one of 2 different ways. Tachikaze, in my opinion right now, is one of the more slept on clans in V. I think that if you are a player who doesn't want to invest like a ton, Tachi's, Murakumo, a couple other things too, but like those are like heavy hitter clans that the better you are, like the better you'll perform with the deck. I know that sounds really stupid, but the ceiling is a lot higher than people I think perceive with these decks in V Premium. Basically, this is an Ancient Dragon name, so you can put this in the true Ancient Dragon deck, gain that extra crit off there, but I think this is personally better with Gaia. This is a really good first ride, and within the Gaia deck, you have 2 different options. Kagero Blazer and this, I don't think go in the same deck. I think you deck out way too quickly. This, along with all of the support that it gets over here, just kind of beg to be in that multi-attack kind of like Gaia deck. Kagero Blazer, if you were to play that, both of them are kind of vying for this first ride spot. And I personally think that if you're trying to go a little bit more aggressive, this is the way to go. If you want to go a more just like steady pace kind of game, gain resources, I think Kagero Blazer might be the way to go. So I think it's really interesting, and they really perfected the option card here. Like you can go either way, and you know none of them are the wrong choice. Gaining power when your drive check reveals a trigger equipped to the top card of your deck to this unit on rearguard circle. Where was the? Which one is the Vanguard was? Which one is unit attacks on Vanguard? Wrote upon.
Final Driver.
One attacks. Which one?
Final Driver.
Spinal Driver was the one, right? Yeah. When this unit Vanguard attack excel. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. When this unit attacks on Vanguard circle attacks, is wrote upon CB1, retire 2 rear guards, gets an excel, draw 1, choose a card from your hand, call it to rear. This is big because the retire 2 rear guards sounds like a very heavy cost, but in this deck, when certain rear guards retire, you actually gain another attack off of that. On top of that, you are getting an excel. You draw 1, choose a card from your hand, call it to rear. So you're basically replacing your 2 attackers. On top of that, like you swung twice, then swing with your van, choose a card from your hand, put it on that excel. Not only are you getting the draw off the excel, you're getting a draw from itself. So it's really gaining resources like the Kagero Blazer in a way. Just 3 extra attacks off of that, which is kind of crazy. Potential to have 3 extra attacks, guaranteed at least 1. Choose 2 of your units, they get 5k into the end of turn. So again, the universal 5k isn't there, but the choose 2 get 5k, pretty decent still. And then when I drive check reveal a trigger, equip it to this unit. I think that this deck, just like the Kagero Blazer and Gaia, just have an issue with decking it out. Like if the games get long enough, which I think they kind of will.
Yeah.
In this format, that's like the only thing. The Dino Crowd, when it attacks, Soul Blast 1, retire rearguard, get 10k more for the battle, and an additional 5k for each of its gauges. Gauge a lot in this deck. Retiring, again, could result in a multi-attack, so I personally like that. And then, when the trigger unit reveals, blah, 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 top unit of your deck. Ancient Dragon, Iguanagorg, yeah, that's how to say it. If this has a gauge, it costs decreased by CB1. When retired by a rearguard circle from your card effect, CB1 to call it a rest to an open rearguard circle. When I drive check, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it kind of replaces itself. Doesn't really result in an extra multi-attack. Don't know why I would want to call it to rest. Open rearguard circle is rest. I guess just making it's better than nothing.
Tire fodder.
Yeah, because you have to retire 2 rear guards, but I personally really like this card. I think the reprints that they gave with this too are correct, because we definitely need to get those to do the multi-attack. And the grade 1's all right. The grade 2 is good. The grade 3 is good. I would definitely put this in the good category.
Sure.
I think the deck has like a solid strategy no matter what way you kind of go. So definitely like that. Next up is Neo Nectar. Speaking of another beatdown deck, this is kind of the pinnacle of that. I don't know if this probably is better than Asha, but at the same time, it almost feels like reminiscent of that, just with a different flavor. So basically, we're going to be looking for Vera. This is one of the Legion units too, the retrains. Vanguard Circle once per turn, costs CB1, retire 2 of our rear guards, choose 2 of your rear guards from drop, put them on the bottom of your deck, look at the top 5 cards, choose 2 unit cards from among them, call them to rear. If you call 2 cards in Musketeer, this unit gets drive +1, so 3 drive. On top of that, when called the Musketeer units, I know a lot of them do have effect to gain power, draw cards, do random things like that. You could basically spawn a field really easily off of this, so that is good. And the retire 2 rear guards, you're basically going to have 2 plant tokens. So it's not a huge deal at all. And if our opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, if we have a basically the grade 2 in our soul, in our front row, all of our front row rear guards get the power increase this unit gets from trigger effects. So really easy kind of to satisfy that condition, I think. And then for the grade 2 had a decent effect. And placed on Banner rear, if you have Vanguard Musketeers card named at soul +1, retire 1 of your rear guards, top 3. So basically, yeah, just spawning a field, just getting power. This really falls victim to I'm a 3 attack deck. Aside from that, like everything else about it is really good. I think that, you know, if you are looking for that classic beatdown 3 attacks, you know, you're like OTT Battle Sisters or whatever, like this definitely could vie for your favor, because this is a force deck, so it has those nice numbers. Retire and countercharging with the grade 1, it's nice. Placed on Van, 1 plant token in front of square, equals 2. Yeah, that's actually, wow, yeah, that's a really good grade 1 actually for the
Those
deck.
2 tokens are good fodder for the grade 3 Vanguard Farah.
For sure. I think this is solid. I'm going to put this in the good category also.
Agreed. Stop agreeing with me. It's getting annoying.
I know, right? Next up for Angel Feather. I don't play too much Angel Feather. Played a ton against, I'm so sick of seeing a Gabriel and Hamiel, but I think this is honestly a lot better than it reads. Overall, the whole idea, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but the overall idea is essentially you manipulate your damage zone, get cards off of it, draw cards, get cards out of it, and then you basically multi-attack. You kind of rig it so that you have other cards with the same name, multi-attack with them. Everything kind of just goes with that. It's really just manipulating your damage zone, and I think that the power gain that this deck gets, this does get power gain, right? Yeah, without 5k until the end of turn. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought, upon reading it the first time, I was gonna put it in C, but I think it's like you said, better than it reads. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And say the high roll potential this has warrants putting it in B.
Yeah, I think I feel like the high roll of Gabrielle, if you want to go high roll, like she still is numero uno, but I feel like with the meta slowing down with those new heal triggers, like I think consistency is going to be valued, and this feels like a very consistent kind of play style. Kind of gives you the option to kind of play the game through and just know that you're going to be able to multi-attack a little bit easier than NoCL. NoCL was definitely like resource intensive to get those multi-attacks. Overall, this just feels more natural with it, and I think you plus a little bit harder, so I definitely would put this in the playable category. I don't think it's going to be like stomping the meta, but you know, again, I wouldn't be surprised if people played this. Oh god.
Yeah, if you're an Angel Feather player, go for it.
Cool. Alright. Moving along to Nubatama. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clans left. We kind of saved the best for last, in a way. Yeah. But so stay tuned for that. But Indomitable Sword Saint Daihosen. So this is honestly one of the sickest cards in terms of design.
I love this card design.
Yeah. This is awesome. I don't think it plays as good as it reads, but at the same time, it could punish certain decks like really heavily, like Gold Paladin, like Shadow Paladin, Royal Paladin even.
I also think in the way that Nova Grappler was in the set, if you know how to play this deck, if you learn it really well, I feel like you can turn every upside and downside on its head.
Exactly. So you're getting basically additional drives, additional critical, and then when your opponent places a normal unit on rearguard circle during your turn, if your opponent has 4 or more cards in their hand, opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. So that is really big. That's really hand control, and in a deck that just applies inherently so much pressure, such big columns, I feel like that's actually really decent. Clans that just kind of call their cards down and chill, I guess, are different, but swing into their what was it? Yeah, swing into their rear guards, I guess, and kind of apply pressure with the vanguard swings. The support for it's pretty decent too. On Vanna Rear, when this guy attacks, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, return to your hand. If your opponent's vanguard is grade 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 10k. That's actually
Also
really
to call it back
powerful.
down.
Yeah, exactly. When this unit is rolled upon grade 3, opponent has 3 or more rear guards, choose one of your vanguards, gets crit plus drive plus 1. So it
the way to counter this deck is to have your units out before they hit grade 3, and if you're riding the basically ride line grade 2, it kind of counters that.
Yeah,
you know the drive.
Exactly, makes it tough. And then again, this guy has a top 7. So I just think anybody with a top 7 inherently just like, I don't know, is so much better. Like I really wish Victor, for example, had a top 7. I feel like that's what that deck is lacking. I don't know why some decks get it, some decks don't, but top 7, I feel like consistency wise is huge for the ride line. And I don't think it has to be a grade 3, right? It's just top 7 cards. Yeah, so you can kind of fix your ride line, which is cool. But perfect. I think this is such a cool card. I'm gonna put this in the good category. I'm
gonna go with A.
You're gonna go in A. You think this is definitely gonna have meta impact?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. It reads really.
Everyone is going to have to learn how to play against this deck and play around it.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
It's too different from what we know.
At some point though, it's kind of like, okay, PG the Vanguard, try to guard out everything else. If you have the grade 3 that limits you, I'm trying to think, can you accelerate the grade 3 in this deck? Putting it into Soul, because if you have the grade 3 that once it has something in Soul, you basically can't use the same card grade to guard with. I don't know 100%, but I think in a silo itself, yeah, I think it's a good card. You could say it might have meta impact. That is not an impossible thing to say. Next up, we have Oracle Think Tank. I honestly don't play Tsukiyomi. I haven't played against it in so long. I think it's cool that it's kind of supporting that old archetype, but at the same time, it's just kind of enabling it to do a little bit more, stacking more triggers kind of in the deck. When this card is revealed for your drive check, one of your vanguards gets initial 10k cost, counterblast 1, gets critical 1. I think everything still breaks down to, I'm a 3 attack deck. Like, I don't know. This is consistency, but you're still doing the same thing at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the best card out of the 3 for sure, because the other one is counterblast 1 for a cycle, and the other one is a extra 4 crit triggers that you play your deck, which I mean is nice, but it's not.
Well, the consistency
huge.
with the grade 1 is pretty decent, but because then it's basically like you're starting up the ride line. You're adding 4 more copies of what you wanted to ride up and whatnot.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that's the best one here.
Oh, you're saying the grade 1. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this in the playable category. It's not like bad. Doesn't really.
Grade 3 is a game. Grade 2 is bad.
Grade 2, when the student plays on enemy, normal colony drop, bottom of your deck, or top of your deck, if your opponent's vanguard is grade 3, the corner slump. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in category C, just playable. Like if you like this clan, it gives you a reason to play it again. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Finally giving us what is it, Tetramagus? Oh my god, about time. Card was so expensive for so long. All right, next up is Bermuda Triangle. So I think this is a really cool card. Basically resting the Vanguard, doing another 2 drive checks. Still getting the trigger effects off of those. On top of that, if you have if you have 4 or less, 4 or less force markers, right? Yeah, you get 2 force markers. So you're basically stacking 3. This paired with like Anj or something is honestly really crazy. This by herself just is like a consistent kind of force. I feel like this is good to build its own deck. I feel like it's good to kind of mix in with different units too. Overall, I really do like this. The support is interesting as well. I think the Miracle Cycle, the grade 4, what is it? It's like good for Highlander, but I think there are better grade 4 targets that basically give you a little bit more. This is just another multi-attack, like 1 single one. I think there's ones that kind of like enable like full board restand, or at least your front row, something like that. I haven't played Highlander in a bit, but solid. And then the grade 1 is actually good. If you have 2 or more force markers, which this pretty much does, this guy gets an additional 5k power plus a 5k shield, so nice numbers there. If I have 3 or more force markers, again, which I will pretty much get off my first ride, this guy gets intercept from the back road, making it just a little bit more of a bulkier deck, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit because it's like was Bermuda really the deck that needed all these good cards? Because not a single one of these is a bad card.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Can you... I guess people do fit Prism in, or other things in Prism too, to kind of like accelerate force markers, and this could bring that even further forward like that. Oh god, that'd be kind of scary.
I feel like it serves the same role that MLB can fit in Royals. You don't even need to play MLB. You just use it for force markers.
Yeah, maybe. Overall, I think this probably will, in some capacity, I think, have meta impact.
It's definitely A.
I think it's going to be an A.
I don't argue on this one. It's
Maybe.
A.
I think by itself it's probably category V, but it could be paired up with other decks that make it scary. That, yeah, I think with the support, yeah, it's probably category A. You'll see this in the meta. Faux show. And I like the art on that grade 1, actually. That's funny. All right, and then I'll let you kind of take this one for Shadow Paladin.
Sure. Now, I played Raging Form back in G era when we got Raging Raft. So I'd like to think I know a tiny bit about the card. I'll read it off for you. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, if your damage zone is 4 or more cards, so Limb Break 4, cost Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or less card with Revenger in its card name, call it to Rearguard Circle, and shuffle your deck. Other skill is at the end of the battle, this unit attacked, cost retire 3 Rearguards with Avenger in its card name, choose the 1 grade 3 card with Avenger, those being Mordred and this, from your hand, and write it as stand.
Huge.
Now, what you're going to want to do is have a lot of Revenge Rearguards, which is easier than it used to be, because we just got 2 new of them. The first one being Tar2, and this is a grade 2. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle or Rearguard Circle, costs from hand, so this won't activate when called by Raging Form skill, sadly. Cost Soul Blast 1, search deck for grade 1 or less Revenger, call it, shuffle it, end of turn, retire it. That doesn't really come into play, because you're going to retire it to Raging Form. And off that, you can call the new card, the new grade 1 Revenger, Renal. When this unit's attack or the attack booster hits a Vanguard, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck, choose up to 1 with Revenger in its card name from among them, reveal it, put it to your hand, rest bottom.
Yeah, so overall, I think all these cards are solid. I think the Raging Form is just huge. You want to go over like the different lines of attack it kind of enables?
There is a 3 Vanguard attack line, so what you have to do is have 5 Revenger Rearguards and 2 Revenger grade 3s in hand. Or you can start with 1 and drive check into the next one in the top 4. Or search it off Renal hits.
Yep.
So you attack with a Rearguard column, then you swing with Vanguard, boosted. You sack the 3 Rearguards at the end of the battle. You ride Raging Form. You use Limit Break to bring out a grade 2 Revenger. You attack with your unboosted Revenger, maybe into a Rearguard if it can't hit. Or if it's on a force marker, you swing into Vanguard. You attack with your other column that's been standing the whole turn. Then you attack with Vanguard. Now you can have 3 units left to sack. You sack them off, you ride another one. And if you ride another Raging Form, you can Counterblast, call another Revenger. So you get another 2 attacks.
So that's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 attacks for the turn?
2 Rearguard attacks. Bring out a second one for the 3 Rearguard attacks. 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah.
That is 7. And then you could also obviously go with the Mordred thing too, kind of just stay classic, swing with your Blaster Darks, do Raging Form, pop down Mordred, restand plus 10, so
yeah.
That, I mean...
Though if you want to get the restand on Blaster Dark off, you can only do 1 Vanguard reride.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's still an option, having it in hand.
Yeah.
I really think this is a good card. I personally am looking so forward to playing this. I really, really love the art, love like the color scheme and everything, and I think the grade 1 is kind of like a Corvette. Like for Aqua Force, the grade 2 obviously is good, and I like that it's like a Soul Blast cost, so I really do think this is going to have meta impact. This is definitely a Class A card for me. This was just so cool. I feel like Shadow Paladin, outside of Luard, it's just been like Phantom Blaster Dragon, it just didn't do too much. Like, I had fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it, actually, and I'm still, personally, I just played it like last week. I really still love that deck, but it's either Luard or bust right now, and this definitely gives us like another option now to play, which I really like. And I like Vanguard centric decks in a lot of ways too.
Well, if you like Vanguard-centric decks, get ready for Royal Paladin.
Perfect. So
with a new card, another Legion Revival card.
Yep.
Seeker, Thing Saber Dragon. Not to be confused with Sing Saber Dragon. Oh wait, it's the same thing. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, cost Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Blaster Blade Seeker, call to your Vanguard Circle, and shuffle your deck. Until end of turn, the called unit gets power plus 10k for each force marker. So if your force markers are on B, the power still goes to Blaster Blade. And here is the key signature skill of Thing Saber that we love so much. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked if you did not ride this turn. So this cannot be on your turn 3, or if this is a second ride, it cannot be turn 4. It costs Soul Blast 3. Choose 4 cards from your drop. You want to choose triggers, usually. Return them to your deck. Search your deck for up to 1 Seeker Thing Saber Dragon. Ride it as stand and shuffle your deck. Now, what is this Blaster Blade Seeker that the Thing Saber mentions? When this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, cost discard a card, choose your opponent's front or rearguard to retire it, and then your Vanguard Secret in its card name and grade equal to or less than your opponent's Vanguard gets original critical 2. Now, this does activate on your turn 2 going second, so it is a neat ride. You don't have to call 4 rear guards like the original, you just have to discard a card. And then it has another skill, Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attack. If you do not ride this turn, same clause as the Secret Thing Saver, so you're not doing this turn 3. Cost to put this unit on the bottom of your deck and draw a card. It cycles and guarantees that it's back in the deck for when you re-ride Thing Saver to call it back out. And of course, we needed a grade 1 to kind of smooth it all over. So when this unit boosts a unit with Blaster Blade in its card name, that is both Blaster Blade Seeker and just Blaster Blade, period. Cost Counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, and that boosted unit gets power plus 5,000 and drive plus 1 until end of that battle. And back row Rearguard Circle. Once per turn, at the end of the battle that your Vanguard attacked, stand this unit. So when your Thing Saver attacks, re-rides as stand, this is stand as well.
Yeah, everything just melds together so well here. Like the grade 2 is kind of like a wash for itself with the draw card. Put this on the bottom of your deck. Like the pressure that the Vanguard Circle kind of just gives is insane. On top of that too, just being able to give the power to the Blaster Blade Seeker, even though you are stacking force markers on your Vanguard, is like absolutely huge. So I personally really like this. I think they did all the Paladins pretty much like solid in the set. Probably Shadows being the best this second by just a sliver, and then Gold is definitely behind these two. But this sounds like an amazing deck to me. It's just like SG.
It plays really well. I've tried it a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut you off here and say this is definitely A.
Yeah, I'm going to put this category A. I think this definitely will be a meta contender, if not just like meta impactful. So the last card, though, is...
Now, I don't know how you do it. I am tired of talking after 2, so please take Dimension Police.
Let me find Tachikaze again, because I think I actually didn't click on it. Where is it?
We have it up in the Discord.
I have it in the Discord. I don't want to flash my Discord here. Where'd it go? And finally back and more powerful. Guys are back, blah blah blah. Partially play. Tachikaze. Why can't I find it? Oh, here we go.
I guess I'm reading it.
I got it. Sorry about that. So, just right off the bat, super excited for this. This is an excellent card. Super Dimensional Robo Tachikaze. So, continues on Van. This unit's power is 35k or greater. This unit gets an additional critical +1. So, always pretty much will be that super easy threshold to hit. Auto on Vanguard Circle, front row, Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle, the grade 3 was revealed for your drive check. Your opponent was called a total of 1 Sentinel to Guardian Circle for that battle. Cost CB1. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, deal a damage. End of that turn, if this is on Rearguard Circle, put this into your soul. When this unit is rode upon, call this card to your front row Rearguard Circle, get an imaginary gift force, and put that marker on your Vanguard Circle. So let's just break this down really quickly. So front row Rearguard Circle, end of battle, grade 3 is reveal the drive check. Basically, if they use the Sentinel, deal a damage. Counter +1, deal a damage. If this turn is on, if this guy is on rear, put this into our soul. That is important because when this unit is actually, no, it's not that important for that part. There is something for that later, but essentially you're clearing out your front row, basically saying if you have 2 of these on your rearguard circles, like 3 Sentinels, it's GG. These are huge columns. It's really hard to guard them out, and yeah, PGs just become pretty much useless. And then when this unit is rode upon, call this card to your front row rearguard circle, get an imaginary gift force, put that marker on our vanguard circle. Essentially, you can use Great Dayusha, pop this down, create a 4th attack then, which is really big. So again, enacting the first skill there too. Dimensional Robo Kaizard. So when this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 cost, discard a card from our hand, get an imaginary gift force, put that marker on our vanguard circle. So just really making it easy to get power on our vanguard circle to hit those thresholds. And then secondly, continues on rearguard circle during your turn. If your van has force marker, this unit gets 10k, and if it has 3 or more force markers, it gets another 10k. So really giving your field a lot of power while at the same time still just maintaining that power on your vanguard to hit those thresholds. For Great Dayusha, for itself, its own Kaiser, very good support overall. And Dimensional Robo die prop. When this unit is placed on when this unit is placed on van, cost reveal a normal card from your hand, put it on the bottom of your deck, draw a card, put a grade 3 for this cost, draw a card. And then Soul Blast 1, choose one of your vanguards, gets an additional 5k until the end of turn for each marker on your van circle. So pretty big for that power. On top of like Twin Blader, this Twin Blader makes it a really big power gain overall. Place on van, revealing normal unit, put on bottom of your deck, draw a card. Drawing 2 cards for this, it's pretty crazy. Like that's a huge filter. Can help you kind of ride up if you need to. I personally think this is like amazing. I really think that the closeout potential in this card with the grade 3 is out of this world, and I really do love Gundams. I think the orange, and I think the one that this was modeled off of was like one of my favorite Gundams, that orange, black, white kind of a Gundam looking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this Dimensional Robo's got the most insane treatment out of all the clans. I'd say these are the best cards in the set. I don't know if you'd agree.
Best card in the set. And a battle grade 3 for draw check, opponent good 1 Sentinel, deal a damage. And then in a turn, this unit on rear. Put this end of that turn, put this in rear. Late game, I feel like this is so unparalleled. I would say it's either this, Raging Form, probably. I just think the ease of play on the Pale Moon thing too is really good for the Beast Tamer. I would say, I don't know. I feel like I'm falling victim to this whole power trap. I'm like, who could block these columns? But at the same time, like, it could potentially just be a 4-attack deck. I don't know. This Raging Form, I would hesitate, but this might be the best card.
Yeah.
So
I'd say S tier.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely gonna have meta impact. Probably be one of the better decks now. One of the best decks. I'll say that. Yeah, I could see that being tough to kind of contend with, because towards the late game, I feel like you're gonna rely so much on your PGs, and you can't really do that with this. The closeout's insane. The power columns are insane. I could see that. So just to quickly review, overall, do I think the meta is going to shift? Yes, with the heal trigger. Some people are against them, but believe me, it stops a lot of these beatdown rush decks. I think that the ratio, if you're going to use, some decks use all 4 of those, some deck use like 2 and 2, 3 and 1. It could be possible. Running out of one of is just kind of stupid in my opinion. But I think the meta definitely has slowed down, and from my playtesting, that's definitely what it's shown. For sure. Just to quickly wrap up all of the clans again. Aqua Force, we said this guy was category B. Yep, so definitely a good card. Then for Vowing Sword, I would say this is a good card again, category B.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. It's a sidestep. It's not like amazing or anything. Reiji, I'm going to say is playable to bad, somewhere around category C to D.
Definitely more C.
Yeah, I could see that. Category B for Gold Paladin. I think that, again, just kind of sidestepping. I don't think this is beating out Spectral Duke in my opinion. Gurgit is still even played too. Like, you definitely can still play it. It's an oddly defensive deck. Just kind of gives you another option, so I kind of like that. So I'm going to put this category B. This is playable. I mean, good. Pale Moon for the Beast Tamers. Definitely category A. This is meta impacting for sure. This is definitely another deck to look out for now. Nova Grappler, I said this was more C potential to B and B. A good deck. I think you said it was B, a good deck.
B in the right hands.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that actually. C for, Genesis. I'm gonna put this in. I don't want to say this is like
I'll put it in C.
good, but I think this is. I think it has potential to be really good. I feel like it's an odd play style. I'll say it's C also, but it can be a good deck. Like, I'm not saying this is a bad deck just because it's playable.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, it's playable.
Yeah. Gear Chronicle stuff. I'm saying this is very high tier B. Potential to impact the meta. I just think the deck already impacts the meta. Like, you can play Gear Chronicle, and this just gives you more options to do that. So I'm gonna put this as very good, like B.
I'm saying middle of the road B.
Okay. Bad for Great Nature. I'm not gonna even go
D.
further. Fucking,
Get out of here.
Ugh, so disappointed. Granblue, I'm gonna say is a good card. It's definitely like an alternate kind of play style you can go with. You can high roll decent in this one. It's more consistent maybe than some of the big bang plays that you can do.
I'm gonna go low B in this one.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't think it's better than Night Rose necessarily. I think Night Rose's ceiling is higher. I think Ghosties are just really, really good too. Kind of does more than what the deck's been doing in a different flavor. Megacolony, I'm gonna say this is good, low good. I really do like what it turned into, what the deck can do.
I can't go above a C for Megacolony.
I feel you on that.
I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love more diverse from it.
I like Megacolony. I think I might be just a little biased. For Link Joker, probably gonna put this in category C just because the other two cards are like all right. I guess this does give the names that you're looking for. It helps the Chaos
The
Breaker.
grade 3 is B, so I'm just gonna base it off that and go B.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is playable. Like, you're gonna play this in other decks. You're not gonna get excited and like there isn't like the game-breaking card that's gonna like win you necessarily. This is just gonna lock those cards down, create like a difficult time for your opponent, and just like kind of add to the strategy. So I'm going category B. I mean C. I think C-ish, B-ish. I don't know. It's hard for that one. For Spike Brothers, I definitely think they're good. Multi-attack potential, basically saying dump your hand or else, and when you don't dump your hand, you're still screwed.
Yeah.
I like the got around the Dudley. I hated that. I mean, not Dudley. The
Rising Nova.
Yeah, that was such a stupid card. Kagero, again, I really like this playstyle. It's just like
we didn't give a rating for Spike Rose.
Oh, I thought we did. Oh, B. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in B. I'm gonna say good. Yeah. Kagero then, definitely category B for me. I like the.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's a different flavor to Overlord the Clan. I think that it definitely is like a good beatdown deck with like very heavy elements of control, which I kind of like being a Narukami player. Murakumo. Upon reading it again, I have to play test it, but I'm gonna go category D. It's one of those. I just think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Just
gotta be.
Not really much else to say. Tachi's, again, I was pleasantly surprised. I think this is definitely like an aggressive way to go, kind of get multi-attacks, high roll potential. Doesn't really do anything about the decking out problem, which, if anything, kind of adds to it with the, every single time you hit a trigger, boom, equip an equip gauge. But I think this is a good card. I think this is definitely a solid step forward kind of for the clan.
Yeah. It's a little different than the old stuff, but it goes in its own new.
Yeah, play this, close out on Gaia, hope for the best.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
You know better than I do, so yeah.
Yeah, I do like Tachi's. Neo Nectar, don't personally play Neo Nectar a ton, but I could see this being a decent deck. I think Neo Nectar's always been kind of like easy to pilot, and at the same time, the floor is really low in this deck. Let's put it that way.
I see a surprising beatdown, surprising everyone.
Yeah.
B tier.
Yep, I think so. Angel Feather. I feel like a lot of these are like good cards, not really like cracking the meta, which I feel like people shouldn't be disappointed with that. Like, especially in an age where like COVID's going on, there aren't tons of like big national tournaments or anything. Like, to have a
Plus,
set,
we only get 2 of these sets a year.
Yeah, to have a set that doesn't like absolutely break the meta.
It kind of just reshapes it.
Yeah, like this gives you more options. These aren't bad cards most of the time. I feel like this is a better set than people are giving it credit for overall. Yeah, I think this Angel Feather, again, just multi-attacking, consistency, nice, steady, easy. I think this is definitely a good card.
Ooh, yeah, I'd put it B too.
Yep. Next up, Nubatama. Given an absolute A for card design. Just super, super interesting. Just really just feels like very fresh kind of flavor. I think you might regard it a little bit higher than I do. Again, this is like block the
Yeah.
Vanguard, survive, but very interesting overall. And again, spamming units like now hurts. So I go really high B, I think.
I'm
Again,
gonna go A.
yeah,
Depending on the meta, could if everything else in the meta is spammy,
yeah,
this could control the meta.
that's true. And a lot of these decks that we said were the best, they do spam things down. Except for
Yeah.
Tachikaze, you don't have to spam things down necessarily. For Oracle Think Tank, again, I'm going to put this playable. It just kind of helps the strategy along, adds to consistency. I don't think it really does anything absolutely game-breaking, so I'm just going to say playable. It's not like the greatest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say the grade 2 is bad. I will say that.
Yeah. So overall, I think that kind of tanks it to like that playable range. Bermuda Triangle, definitely tier A for me, like category A. This is...
Yeah. How could it not be?
Yeah, I mean, you could slot this into Prism probably and just like accelerate your force markers, which is crazy. 3, 4, yeah, have 4 force markers on your first like go get 'em kind of Prism turn. Like, oof, it's big. It's really big. The Highlander Sport's okay. I guess it's not bad. Just good to have another grade 4, and then the grade 1 is actually really good. This combined with the other grade 1 that calls herself out from the drop to give an additional 10k. I mean, makes the deck really bulky. So I definitely think this is a good card. Definitely tier category A. I think it goes without saying. Shadow Paladin.
Tier A.
Tier A, yeah. Definitely going to be meta impactful. I think these cards are just
Enough
too
said.
good. You have so many different lines of play. Or you have 2 really solid lines of play now. One of them being like amazing. One of them being like still like very good. So I like that. And you're not... These are still... Yeah, you're not taking away from the drive track. So like the pressure is like consistently there. This is wild, actually. I don't have it up on the screen.
Every time.
Oh, yeah, the force marker. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God, yeah. But the force marker, oh, my God. That could
Now,
be
if you're
crazy.
If you do this ideally, you can have... If you're going force 2, you have a force 2 attack from every column on your second grade 3 turn.
It's true. I wonder what's more beneficial. I feel like the power gain isn't...
The power might be too much, but...
Yeah, the power gain is not really like insane in this deck. I feel like you almost need to spam the force ones. But again, same thing with like Valkyrian in a different way. But Think Saber, I don't have it pulled up on the screen, but Think Saber again, I think is definitely in a meta that's going to survive past your first grade 3 ride. That is definitely a meta impacting kind of card. I think that's definitely, category A. And then to wrap up finally with Daikaiser, again, this is another bang out card. This is really awesome. This is definitely category A. I think that it is going to bring Dimension Police back into rotation a little bit. So very excited for that.
Caesar would be proud.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, let us know your comments down below. Let me know if we missed anything, any personal opinions on cards you disagree with.
Trash, and we have bad opinions.
Yeah, just let us know respectfully if you could. But yeah, thank you again. This is Alex from Team Generations, joined by Jake. Signing
Thank you for having me.
out. Yep, of course. Take care.